So it's gonna be a best of 5 as well. And they have the first match up already. So let's see, they're gonna start on Frisian Marshes, and it is gonna be drumroll Macedonians against French. So let's do that here.
Macedonian dynasty against French. Well, that's the matchup to look forward to. We just saw it a little bit ago in Corvinus against Voldy, and we saw Macedonians completely dominate the French. But that was on Lipany, and it's very hard for Lipany, for French to raid on Lipany. Over here, going on Frisian marshes, French can definitely show us a little bit more of that raiding. There is gonna be some action happening on docks maybe. Well,
Hmm.
there is a lot of things to look forward to. Most likely, we are not going to be seeing pro scouts on the Frisian marshes, but some maybe players will surprise us.
Well, I mean, we've seen some wild things today already, so I wouldn't put that completely out. But yeah, so both players they have started the game. They're about 2 minutes in, so we're looking at about 3 minutes of observer delay, which I would like to take as a break just to get up, take some water. Guys, stay hydrated, right? Take a break, stretch a little bit, drink a little bit, and then we'll get back right into the next series, best of 5 Myriad against Scatterbrained. Alright, folks, we're back from the quickest of breaks. I grabbed some water, so I'm gonna be ready for the next best of 5 series. I hope you had a good break. And with that, I believe we're pretty much about ready to jump into this game. Just gonna pause that real quickly. And then I'm gonna double check the settings here. Um, You're in the group. Alright, let's hit it. So yeah, Myriad. Actually, I want to switch that over, switch that as well. Myriad playing the Macedonians on the right side here. This is Frisian Marshes. We all know and love this map. Opening with the Varangian stronghold, so the barracks that the Macedonians have access to, which is a little bit different than the regular barracks. Scatterbrained starting on the wood as well, opening with a dog, of course. I would be highly surprised to see to see a Dark Age barracks from the French coming up. And this is how it's often being played, especially against civilizations like French, but I've also seen it against Tughlaq, that you try to deny the gold, and then the person playing the dog opening struggling to get into feudal age even. So this can be some really interesting situations, make for some interesting situations for the water player.
Yes, you can definitely make it super hard for Scatter to age up to the feudal age, or just make him to commit to the tower. Even that's something that you can do with the early spearman, but you are gonna be sacrificing that early income that you would get from the fish. I'm not sure if you really hate it. I think that Myriad is gonna be very happy about it. Slowly but surely, gonna be is not going on gold, but rather he would love to try to burn down the dog. Very interesting to see if he would go and try to deny the gold from the scatter. He would basically force him to make a tower or even go on a different gold mine. Just a bunch of idle time that would definitely be worth it. Right now he's slowly but surely coming there with the spearman, but is it a little bit too late? Villagers already mined 60 gold and 30 and just 30 needs to be mined. I think that they are going to be staying on gold vein, mining it slowly but surely, and we are just going to be pulling away the low HP ones and chilling at the moment. Exactly 5 gold needs to be mined, and we are going back. Very interesting to see, and pulling yet again more and more villagers. And in my opinion, this was a little bit this was a little bit overcommitment with pulling for 400 TC. But better be safe than to commit to the tower, or even worse, start running on a different gold mines and being chased by the spearman.
Yeah, especially if football players, the gold mine is in the same direction from the TC. So if you deny this and then you want to go on the other one, your opponent can just circle around back to the other gold. So it would be really difficult. So yeah, better safe than sorry. Pull a couple more villagers than needed. We're at 210 gold, so Scatterbrain is fine when it comes to gold. He will be able to age up. He has a lot of villagers on wood, so he will get the additional docks. And the 2 Akimakias shouldn't be enough to burn the fishing boat. At least it's gonna take quite a while.
At the same time, if you are going to look at the Myriad side of the map, he wants to also commit on the dock most likely, as we can see over there. Yeah, he wants to commit on the dock, but Wolf is chasing the villager on 2 HP. Just one Wolf hit away from first villager of the game dying
Oh, no, no, no,
and
no,
going
no.
into the corner of the guy. First villager is gonna be dying to the Wolf, and we need to pull yet another one. Beautiful play from the Gaia. And and the first villager kill, not going into the corner of the Scatterbrain, not going into the corner of the Myriad, going into the corner of the nation of the wildlife on the Frisian marshes.
I mean, you must hate that. Like this is potentially like the worst start. Like you're just so committed to everything else, and then you're like, ah, it's a wolf. I don't care about that, you know. And at some point you realize that your villager is down to 10 health, and now there's the second one. So that villager also already getting some PTSD right there. Incredibly unfortunate position for Myriad to lose a villager and then having to pull another one. Just imagine all the idle time there. Meanwhile, Scatterbrain aging up, immediately dropping the archery range to be able to have at least one archer and then deal with the Dark Age Spearman this way. Myriad now, yeah, will soon start with the second dock, but he's just shy a little bit on wood, probably because he had to pull that villager to begin with. So now opening with the second dock. Scout is there to scout it out, as scouts do. So yeah,
he doesn't want to lose a second villager on 44 scout strikes, so we are gonna be pulling the second villager back, and scout is gonna be doing a little bit of the damage, but doesn't really matter that much. He scared away a villager, that's the most important part. Second dog is not going to be coming up, and scatter already with a villager lead and with some equal lead at the same time. Very interesting to see. Myriad going for Imperial Hippodrome, and most likely he will be making those beautiful horsemen just for the raiding capabilities. And remember the Hippodrome Scout is the first unit that's gonna come out of here, and it gives you bonus burn damage. So if you want to, you can delete the dogs. Just run in with 10 horsemen, throw a few torches at it. Doc is dead. Go to another one and go to another one at the same time. That's why they are so. That's what is most likely going to be the Myriad's idea to play over here at the moment.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then also the horsemen obviously being the hard counter against the archers from Scatterbrain. So Scatterbrain now, since he has access back on gold, is going to, or is adding the Royal Knights as well, so he has a Horseman Knight mix at the moment on the field, and is now, yeah, moving on the second dock, so slowly just expanding his reign here. Wheelbarrow getting added as well with the mill most likely, and then the cards are open again. Both players on water, both players having cavalry, a little bit of infantry, trying to harass, trying to be annoying. And the question is, which player is going to make the first move into Castle Age? Usually, technically, it would be the Macedonians, but at the same time, Myriad might surprise us with some more heavy feudal play, trying to get as much out of the docks as possible.
Scatter would love to stay inside of the feudal age for probably as long as possible because he has the advantage of the knights in it.
Mm-hmm.
Knights, the unit that most civilization get only in the castle age, can deal pretty much with everything in the feudal age. The only counter to them is gonna be a spearman mass from the Macedonian dynasty. Macedonian dynasty having a little bit better spears is gonna mean that they are gonna do well, and these knights are just gonna be harassing everywhere they can, and they are gonna be doing a very good job at it. At the same time, you need to be careful with them because if you are gonna look at the horsemen from the myriad, sure, right now they are normal horsemen, but give it a little bit time to give so the hippodrome horseman will come out, and suddenly they are gonna be doing 2 more damage. And
Mm-hmm.
if you have a good enough horseman mass, you can definitely start picking off knights one by one.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean with a strong eco with the water eco that Myriad has access to, and a cheaper cost of horsemen means that you will have a quite substantial mass relatively early on, and then it is like you can pick off the knights, even though of course they're much stronger in theory. But if you have the right amount of units, maybe you can even surround them a little bit, and then they're just cornered and will eventually die. Villager living a
This not enough
very,
spears.
very dangerous life here. There's just 3 spearmen, not enough to really deal with that. A good charge onto them, basically killing them instantly. More spearmen coming in, but I don't think that the
And
villager...
we are sending them one by one. I do
Yeah.
not like this. We first of all we lost double spearmen. Now we are losing 2 more spears. Yet again, villager and horseman at the same time, or hippodrome horseman is getting heavily damaged, and sending another low HP spearman. Or low HP, sending another spearman in. I don't like this at all. Why did we change back and charge back into it? Why are we just giving scatter units one by one? If we would just gather them and then fight, this why would be easy for us. We basically already lost 5 spears and 2 horsemen or 3 horsemen for what? For
Yeah.
nothing. We didn't secure anything. We lost villager. Sure, dogs are up, but dogs would be up if we would gather army and then go either.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I totally feel your pain, and I feel that this is not the right move from Myriad. If we're taking a quick look at the destroyed value, it's double for scatter at the moment, so really must be happy. I mean, you're fighting against your hard counter and you're still winning easily. The knights not even really be damaged that much. And now even yeah, putting pressure on the dogs, putting pressure on the fishing boats. You don't really want to lose the fishing boats here. Spearman coming in, but again, it's just 3, so if you can turn around with a good charge, yeah, good micro back and forth, yeah, 2 hits and then Spearman is gone, and these knights can just run around with the superior mobility. And this is not exactly what I want to do as Myriad. At the same time, he's losing units here in the front. And I mean, I see like I don't know, like a herd villager and a couple of dead purple units. This is not what you like to see.
Exactly, Scatter playing it completely perfectly, not losing any knights to the raids, trying to stay alive and doing perfect job at it. Also, he's already expanded to all of the fishing ponds, as we can see on the minimap. Every single one of them has a little yellow dot on it, and that means his economy is basically everywhere. On the other hand, slowly but surely, chivalry is gonna be coming in, and when that does, even the super low HP knights that are still alive from the fights that happened a little while ago are gonna get healed up and then come as reinforcements. This is not looking good for Myriad in a long run. He tried to go for raids. He tried to play for the field age aggression, but it's heavily backfiring to him because of the mismanaged units.
Yeah, I mean, now he has the army master he needed from the beginning, but yeah, that was really really a blunder on his part, I believe, to lose the units that almost carelessly, and giving Scatter such an advantage at the moment. Just look at the Knight's mass. It should have been thinned out by now. Now we have a lot of spearmen here, finally getting another Knight kill here, but still very, well for Scatterbrain. Also here, I mean, just a moment ago he was halfway through to Castle Age already if he wanted to. He added 2 more stables, so he's doubling down on the feudal aggression, which I believe is absolutely the right call. If he now gets the archer numbers, which he's getting right now, then he should be easily able to deal with the army of Myriad. And if we're looking at the upgrades, we're slowly getting the military upgrades here for Scatter. He has most of the eco techs as well, and Myriad only has 1 tech here for the spearman, and then the double broadaxe. So is behind in upgrades, is behind, way behind in military, and is behind in eco. So not looking good for Myriad right now. He needs to do something, to make something work. Potentially with a raid here with all the horsemen.
Sure, like raids are gonna be nice to see, but what are we gonna do if all of our villagers under the TC will die? Like we don't have enough at home to defend. This is at the moment 16 knights in the front that can basically dive whatever they want and just kill it. There are some archers with them also. So in terms of countering the spearmen, we are in the safe as well. Hippodrome Ridari already out on the field, gonna be amazing when it's gonna be paired with all of the spears from the Macedonian dynasty, and they are just gonna be charging that little bit quicker, and and the army composition is gonna be that little bit faster. Will be very nice to see, but the army numbers are just not there yet, not there. Not there at all. Look at the fight that's gonna be happening on our screens. This is not the good fight for the Myriad. He is picking off archers one by one though, so that's very nice to see. But what do we get on the other hand? Picking spears one by one, and right now we can take an engagement. And there are just too many knights. There's not enough horsemen to do anything, not enough spears to do anything. Everything is dying one by one. Hippodrome Ridari probably the best unit out on the field for the Myriad at the moment, but Myriad recognizing I don't have this game. Let's just go to the next. GG, and 1-0 is going to be lead for the scatter break. For scatter.
Yeah, really unfortunate here for Myriad, the unit management here, and yes, of course, like the last fight was quite painful for Scatter. Lost a couple knights, but you're so far ahead, it doesn't really matter, and you're still losing. You're still killing all of the spearmen in turn, and so it still turned out quite well, even though it looked really painful. Um, and yeah, Scatter just way ahead in eco. It somehow didn't really work in Myriad's favor. Um, wow, did not expect that game to go that way. I have to be honest. I mean, I know French is good on water, in parts because you save up a house if you go for a dog. So you know there's at least something. But really nicely done here against Myriad, and Myriad is probably scratching his head right now and thinking, what have I gotten myself into here? Why did this not go the way I expected it to go?
Well, he definitely mismicroed some of the units out in the field, gave a lot of army to the scatter, and from that point on, it was just a little bit of a snowball play. Not being able to get those dogs up as quickly as he needed to, not being able to get the fishing up, and and scatter just gaining all of the map control, getting all of the fish and the and getting all of the economy that he wanted. He basically played it nearly perfectly. Didn't even get raided as much. Like Scatter just showed us a masterpiece over here.
Mm.
Myriad with some of the misplays that went heavily punished.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But good, good for him, Myriad. It's definitely not over. This is just the first in many of games that we're gonna see tonight. The next game is already up. They started it a couple minutes ago. I didn't see the draft, but they're playing on Coastal Cliffs. Myriad picked Byzantines of all civilizations. So that is also curious. And Scatter did go for Jeanne d'Arc, which is a little bit more to be expected, I suppose.
So we are gonna see Jeanne against Byzantine matchup that we talked at the start of the stream on Coastal Cliffs. Well, in terms of the matchup, it's definitely gonna be hard for, in my opinion, hard for, or way harder for John over here.
Mm-hmm.
You may ask why, and it's really simple. She can't go for the ranged version, otherwise she's gonna get completely obliterated
Mm-hmm.
by the javelins that Myriad is gonna go for most likely. At the same time, going for mass knights against Myriad. Myriad is just gonna love to stay in his base, make a lot of limit and A, chill, completely chill, play with the javelins, play the infantry, and when the scatter comes over there, comes with the raiding, comes to try to do anything, he's gonna have answers for it. And when he comes with the archers, there are gonna be jabs, and he's just out booming him. Scatter needs to do damage over here. John will have a hard time doing it, and she is basically forced to do it in the melee version.
Mm-hmm.
If she will go for the ranged version, she cannot expect any XP from any fight, because she will just get sniped basically instantly.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. The only thing that I'm curious to see, and we're gonna find out in about 20 seconds, is with the stone on coastal cliffs spawning notoriously far away from the town center. How do you manage with the cisterns? Like, do you pull more villagers than you otherwise would to get the cisterns early on? Do you skip that kind of and just go for one for the time being? Like, how do you do that? This is gonna be my question, and this is gonna be what we're gonna find out in just a second. Let me switch the screen over here, and then we can. Um, and then we can start it up. So Myriad playing the Byzantines in purple, which is a very fitting color. And yeah, we already have 3 villagers being pulled on stone. Um, so this is pretty much what I thought would happen. Scatter on the other side, playing Jeanne d'Arc, just doing the classic thing here. Yeah.
We need to switch the overlay.
Oh, wait,
Thingy.
wait.
Yeah,
Did I?
yeah.
No, that's right.
Mi-
There you go.
Myriad is going for pretty standard 3 villagers on a stone, and most likely he will be going for 3 or 4 cisterns as quickly as it is humanly possible. On another hand, Scatter is yet again going for fast age up with JD. Nothing super fancy over here. He wants to get the knights out as quickly as it is humanly possible. No Dark Age against the Byzantine over here. Byzantine is a civilization that if you play Dark Age against them, you can throw them off of their game pretty damn quickly, and that's the reason why people love to do it. Even with the civilizations that are not as good in a Dark Age, but still can work, something like English with the fast man at arm. But on another hand, JD does not really have a lot of capabilities to do so. There is a tower build order that you can go for, and making the towers is a JD in the front. The problem is that you are going to be sacrificing a lot of the XP for it, because, well, JD not gathering stuff and walking across the map is gonna mean no XP for the level 2. No XP for the level 2 means you will get just way harder fuel. So at the moment, this is as standard as it gets.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the only thing that came to my mind was the tower rush build that JD sometimes does, but as you pointed out, you sacrifice her experience, which means that you're gonna be stuck with the peasant for quite a while. And I mean, really, everything evolves around her being level 2, hopefully as soon as possible being level 3. The consecrate ability only kicks in level 2, so you need to have that going for you. The switch between melee or ranged happens when you hit level 2, so you wanna have that going for you. And then really is the point where Jeanne d'Arc benefits from these messy fights where you kill stuff here and there and just get experience. Even if you take, comparably bad fights, it's still often worth it because you get the experience, you get ahead that way. And so that's why you don't really want to have her waste half a minute to walk over there. So as I said, really standard stuff here. School of Cavalry being built right now. On the other side, we have the Grand Winery, also very standard, and Myriad must be really happy about the berry patch being in the back of the base. You can just put a short wall over here on the right side, and then maybe a one on the gold vein, and then he will be very, very safe. So this should not be able to contest it really. So I don't think Scatter will be having a great time over here. With the second cistern on the stone, and then on the berries as well, I kind of think that Myriad actually wants to stay on the stone, at least for as long as he can. Doesn't look like he wants to pull off immediately, at least.
Like, he wants to stay on stone because, well, more cisterns means more income. On another hand, he knows that he will have to pull back relatively quickly because of the first night that is slowly but surely coming over here. But as you pointed out, having berries in the back is lovely to see, and and those are basically free berry patches that are kinda in the back of our base. One extremely safe, the other one very safe as well if we make a small wall from the wood line, from the wood lines on the edge of the map. But Scatterbrain is going for that night play, and question is, will he be able to raid Myriad to death? Because that's the only thing he has going for him. He needs to raid Myriad to death, but Myriad, with a bag gold, bag berries, side wood line, is gonna have a field day in defending it.
Yeah, that's what I'm also thinking. It should definitely be possible for him to defend that. Scatter now attacking the aqueduct, so trying to get the cistern level down to level 2 as soon as you disconnect that. So yeah, I would guess that Myriad should be able to defend this really, really well. So he should be in a good position to get ahead in this game. But there's there's a lot of should. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. So maybe Scatter, he's been doing a good job last game. Maybe he'll throw off Myriad once more. And yeah, right now that aqueduct definitely is going to break relatively soon. First Limited is out on the field, but it's just the Dark Age one, of course. So it's gonna take a while before he has a sizable defense against Scatter, really.
For now, definitely it's gonna take a little bit, but I don't think that he minds at all, because all of his units are gonna come online with first or the second batch of the javelins. That is gonna be the most important. And these knights being able to kill one villager over here, lovely to see. Myriad already taking some eco damage, but they just equalize the villager numbers because JD is considered as a villager early on right now, and when she converts into the warrior, that's when you basically lose one villager. For that reason, villager numbers are same at the moment. A little bit of the idle time from the scatter on the TC as well. Already half a villager worth of the idle time will mean that he's a little bit back in terms of the production, but nothing crazy at the moment. Taking this aqueduct was completely awesome for him, because of the villager gather speed. Like, going down to 14%, it's basically perfect for you. And Myriad is forced to basically rebuild it, make a tower on gold. There is a lot of things that needs to be done for him to be safe at the base at the moment. But the most important one is gonna be javelins. Javelins need to come out. Otherwise, the first batch of archers or JD over here are gonna be in trouble.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you maybe could argue that the longbow contract would also be possible, but definitely if you want to counter the archers, which will inevitably come out, then the javelins would be the right call to make. We're still, by the way, the cistern is still on Dialecticus, so for now at least the production is not being sped up by the level 3 cistern. So Myriad needs to switch that back up again as soon as possible. But yeah, I mean, he's chilling, right? I mean, he's now going back on the gold with the outpost, so he should have access to the gold. He's on level 3 cistern. With every single building that he is building, he will get a small amount of stone, so he should be he should be getting level 4 system even at some
This
point.
is not enough spears over here. This is not enough spears, and this is terrible, terrible for the Myriad over here, because this wall is not gonna go up. The villagers should die over here, and for what cost? Not a single knight, or only one knight that one knight died over here, and that's gonna be about it. One knight for one villager, and basically most of the spearmen from the Myriad. A lovely trait to have, but no JD. JD wasn't near over here, so she does not get the XP from it. She would love to be here when the trade happened for the XP to come true, but right now, Myriad is gonna be having a very hard time defending this berry patch because the wall did not go up.
Yeah, that is really not good, and it is such a flashback to last game, where you had just a couple of spearmen against the knights. It was basically the same situation, right? With a couple spearmen, and then he lost all of them, didn't get a knight kill, and just fell back a little bit. Now he has the numbers to actually push back Jeanne a little bit, so he will get the wall up, you know, that is good. And it's also good for him that Jeanne d'Arc didn't benefit from all the XP that she would have gotten here. So it could have been, you know, it could have been worse, that's what I'm saying.
It could have been worse, and Scatter is aging up. Look at the guild hall that's being under construction. This is very interesting to see. Scatter is going for the age up while harassing with the knights a little bit. And my question is, what are the unit composition gonna look like? Is this gonna be mass ARP? But playing mass ARP against somebody who's going javelins is, in my opinion, a little bit of a suicide. It's gonna be, you are making your game just a little bit harder, but you will get the relics most likely, and that can be the game changer. Getting 5 relics, getting that beautiful gold income, basically 10 villagers on gold till the rest of the game just in relics would be lovely to have. So that's what Scatter is most likely going for, and ARPs, I'm not that sure about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the Abbasid would be the right call here. I mean, there's nothing they counter really, and so I think it's gotta be mass archers and mass knights. Then you get the veterancy, and then you have the superior numbers. You have the attack advantage, and yeah, as you pointed out, with the relics, you try to grab the relics, and then you just overrun your opponent with the better military. Castle Age came in now, so Myriad is aware of that. He's moving out now, so either to protect or defend the relics, or maybe even to find some damage. But at the same time, Scatter is moving in now with a couple of knights. Villagers on the run on the wood line. Are they gonna find a charge here? Looking for the knights, for the villagers on the olive groves. Not finding a charge, but causing a little bit of idle time, and Myriad needs to run back and retreat back to his base. Should get it, yeah, should maybe get a hit on the knights here, at least with the javelin throws, but there's some more villagers here. So much idle time.
Yeah, idle time is all that we are gonna get, but I think that's enough damage right now for a Scatterbrain. Just forcing Myriad to garrison inside of the towers, inside of the TC, is gonna be basically giving Scatter resources, or not giving him, but denying resources to your opponent.
Yep.
In terms of the idle time, because the Golden Horde Tower is gonna be coming up in the back of our base most likely, and he is rushing it, as we can see with the build numbers. 12 villagers building Golden Horde Tower means that he wants it up as quickly as it is humanly possible. He is definitely a little bit scared of all of those knights, and later even either archers or arps coming out on the field. But I was wrong. This is not our play. This is an archer play, which is very interesting to see, in my opinion. We are making archers as a French. We are going for archer knight composition in a castle. It's not something that players really go for, because of French knights just fall off in a castle age heavily. In the feudal, they are probably one of the best knights, but in the castle, they are the most basic knight you can have. Sure, they have some bonus damage after the charge, they can heal themselves, but that's not really what you are looking for. You are looking for deflective armor. You are looking for bonus attack speed. You are
Mm.
looking for these things. Over here, knights, French knights compared to the others are just normal knights at the moment. That's why normally we see players going for mass ARP composition, but not Scatter. Scatter is believer in his knight composition, and he is making more knights with some archers. And right now there is the ARP switch.
Yeah, I mean the archers totally make sense against the limited nade just to deal with them, but it definitely looks like he is going to fizzle out the archers that he currently has. He's not producing more archers. He's not getting the upgrade. At least he didn't get them before going for the Abbasid trace. So he's probably gonna switch it at some point. Even though it does make sense against the limited nade. So it's not, it's not out of place basically to have them. But yeah, he's pulling them back, and to your point, yeah, if you're not going for the Royal Institute, the knights in Castle Age, they're just your standard knights, and nothing too special. And so it's yeah, you kind of need to have the ARPs then to complement them. Um, a lot of villagers on the run here trying to frantically make another gate just to get around here. Some more knights here circling around, and Myriad is really trapped here in his base, as often is the case as Byzantines, but I feel he's even more trapped than you usually would be. Some camel lancers are on the field here as well as the mercenaries, and of course really strong against the knights with the camel unease, with the debuff that they provide. And we haven't got one relic picked up by Scatter, but isn't looking to prioritize that too much. Only has one monk, so he's taking his sweet time to
He
get the
just
relics.
he most likely just put the monk out and capture secret sites with the JD. Like he really wants the XP for her to get to level 3 as quickly as possible. At the same time, JD is good, but feudal JD at the moment is just gonna get obliterated in any fight nearly
Yeah.
instantly. So that's why we can't really take fights with the JD at the moment. She is missing only 75 XP, but still that's a lot of XP right there. And slowly but surely getting all the relics is gonna be the priority, I think, for the Scatterbrain. He needs to get some eco advantage. Sure, he has cheap privilegers in the town center because of the consecrate, and most likely even cheaper knights, but that's gonna be about it at the moment. On the other hand, Myriad already sitting on 4 cisterns and getting more and more eco up and going is gonna mean that Scatter is on a little bit of the timer.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the thing with Byzantines is they're kind of susceptible in Dark and Feudal Age in the early stage of the game at least, because they have so many different things they want to do, and they kind of spread out their base and that kind of stuff. But the longer you let them cook, the more dangerous they become, and at some point their eco is really oppressive. And then also with all the free stone that they get and with all the wood, they can maybe even add a town center, and then they definitely skyrocket away. At the same time, we're almost getting a surround here. There's so many knights here on the field, 24, 13 arcs in the back, and then just a couple archers for good measure, trying to snipe out
And JD hit the level
archers,
3.
the spearmen. Yeah, and JD hitting level 3 now on her horse. Yikes,
JD hitting level 3. Look at this fight. This was beautiful fight.
Yeah.
Like Skater found exact timing when to push. Exact timing where he had that mass of the knights, and when he could have went in, did a lot of damage, then maybe try to go back out, regroup, remass, and go back in yet again. This was absolutely perfect for him. The timing of taking the fight was probably one of the best ones that I have ever saw.
Yeah.
There was some food left on the map still for Scatter to pick, but it would slowly but surely be running out. So he wanted this fight to happen, and he needed it to win it. Otherwise, he would be in a lot of trouble. He's winning the fight, and right now leading in the series 2-0 against Myriad. Not something that we expected.
No, not really. I mean, Scatter is not a bad player by any long shot, but Myriad is, you know, I believe in Myriad, so I'm really surprised here as well. And both games kind of going the same way. You have this feudal French aggression, then switching into Castle Age, and then just mowing up over your opponent. Um, it's a destruction. It definitely was a destruction here both times. Scatter feeling really well right now here with the 2-0 right now. Just checking the drafts if I can find any. I didn't update. That's cool. Okay, let's see if we can find game number 3. Um, and they should already have drafted, and we see a little bit out of the ordinary here this time around. Let me invite you to the group real quick. They're already in game, so we should be able to jump in really quickly as well again. And okay, it's gonna be Dry Arabia. Let me put that in here.
So
And
we will see dry Arabia, and the civilizations are most likely gonna be something like Japan, Golden Horde, or Golden Horde is there for the Myriad, and it's the Abbasid for the Scatter.
yeah,
Okay, we are gonna see something that's not really played anymore on the ladder.
no.
Abbasid civilization that many pro players are saying complete garbage if you are not MSN.
Mhm.
Well, Scatter is gonna be showing us why it isn't. Where Abbasid can definitely excel is a feudal age all in, and we see that from MSN a lot. Thanks to having cheaper villagers and having 10% and having 10 or 15% bonus on the get rate
Mhm.
on all of your villagers, basically from start of the feudal age, is lovely to see for them. At the same time, getting the military wing relatively quickly and is meaning that you are pressuring your opponent from the start of the feudal.
Mhm.
That's the reason why Abbasid from in some matchups can do really, really well in terms of the field age. On another hand, Golden Horde doesn't really have those timing pushes, or they are extremely hard to pull off because of making double units, because of starting with one less villager, because of aging up in the golden tent. There is a lot of things that are playing a role and hindering your ability to play for the early aggression.
Mhm.
That's the reason why Golden Horde is most likely a later feudal age civilization. But when they get up and going, having one more armor on all of your units, having more attack speed thanks to the Batukan, and Batukan not dying thanks to the Torgut, they
Mhm.
are unstoppable.
Yeah, also there, with the double villager production, they get ahead. At the beginning it's a little bit slowed down, but then at some point it skyrockets with the not pastures, what's stockyards, really getting ahead really quickly. Then also having with the stockyard edict, then you kind of have the enclosures with the English getting gold while mining food. So that's really really nice. So Golden Horde has a lot of things going for them. The other option for Myriad would have been Malians, and Scatter chose to ban Malians or to snipe Malians. And Scatter opted for either Ayubids or Abbasid, and Myriad then sniped Ayubid. So that also would have been really interesting to see. Um, I'm not sure if the military wing really works against Golden Horde. It really depends on when the fortified outposts are coming out. Because if that is already out there, yeah, I guess you can still go for a ram at some point. But that's a lot of resources that you need to invest then. So I'm not sure if that would be the play. But yeah, I don't know. We're gonna find out fairly shortly. I also need to change the colors here because they switched a little bit. Scatter is going to play green this time, and Myriad is gonna play yellow. So I need to make sure that this
Myriad
works.
is Myriad is going for one of the civilizations that are very, very good in the feudal age, and I mean extremely good. Not that good in the early feudal age. They struggle. Golden Horde struggles in early feudal because of the timing of the push from other civilizations, and timing of the Golden Horde is a little bit lacking. But on the other hand, it's probably one of the best civilizations in the late feudal age, thanks to having more armor on all of your units because of the Karash, and mainly you are getting all of your Torgut basically for free or extremely cheap out of the golden tent. It costs you stone, sure, so you are sacrificing
Mm.
upgrades for it, but you don't have that many upgrades to go for in the field age anyway. You would like to have more units out on the field. So you are basically going for a triple composition without going for a triple composition. You are just making spearmen plus archer, and your third unit that comes out is for it's not for free, but it feels like it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason why Golden Horde is going to be one of the best civilizations in the late feudal age. And ladies and gentlemen, we are slowly but surely going to be going into the game number 3 of this series, Myriad against Scatterbrain.
Yes, that is right, and we just hit the observer delay, so we're good to go. Scatter up to 0 here in this best of 5. So this is match point. He just needs to win this one more game, and then Myriad is out of this one qualifier. He still has a chance to then qualify tomorrow if he so chooses, but that just feels. It just feels bad, you know. I mean, you're waiting for a little bit, and then you're playing against the super easy series. You win easily 2-0, and then you're up against Scatter, and you're like, well, I think I can win this, but then it doesn't really work out in your favor. So I hope that he, you know, I'm kind of rooting for him. So hopefully he can turn it around. Scatter at the same time playing a very solid and convincing series here, doing the standard opening with the Abbasid opening on the berries, and then we're gonna find out what he's going to do with the wing choices, what he's going to look for. We might see a couple TC plays. There's a stone right in the back of the base. Military wing has been floated as an idea in chat, so maybe we'll see that being in the cards. Who knows? We're gonna find out very quickly.
Military wing is giving you huge amounts of tempo. As an Abbasid player, you are basically getting 4 units out on a field as soon as you age up completely for free, and they can go ahead and pressure Ovu immediately. Then you are going to be adding stables and start spamming horsemen, so you are starting with a triple composition and you are having it immediately from the get-go. That's why Abbasid is one of the stronger civilizations when it comes to the early feudal age. Not because you are getting only 3 units, but because you are getting an amazing composition of early units. You are getting double spearman, double archer for free, then adding a little bit of the horseman, and there isn't a unit out on the field or civilization that you would not counter with this in the early feudal age. That's why they are so good. They are locking you in your base extremely early on. The only small problem is the lack of heavy units, then the lack of military bonuses, other than getting free units and getting a little bit more HP on the infantry. You don't really have that many bonuses going for you. You have cheaper villagers. That means that you can make more army. Lovely to see. Spending less resources on the wheel means you have more on the horseman. On another hand, you are gonna be getting. On the other hand, you are going to be getting Golden Age, and that's 15% more bonus on all of your villagers in terms of the get rate. But that's about it. All of your bonuses are eco bonuses. You don't have that many military bonuses.
That's right. I mean, that's one of the reasons why Abbasid is mainly considered as an eco civilization. And that's their main focus. With the military wing, as you so beautifully explained, you can really lock your opponent in. It can also be quite surprising if you don't see it coming. All of a sudden, you have these units against you, and you have to kind of scramble to find counters against that. Also, in this situation, because Golden Horde, unlike the Mongols, they cannot move their buildings. Um, you have the Uwu outside of TC range, you have the gold outside of TC range. So with the military wing, which is not the option here chosen, but that would also be quite could make a lot of damage here early on and disrupt Myriad. But Myriad is seeing that the Eco Wing is the choice here. Scatter already moved out on the stone. Now is getting the Feudal Crescent to have the cheaper eco buildings, which also of course includes the town center. Meanwhile, Myriad, he didn't go for fortified outposts for now, since there's not going to be some really early aggression. Now moving out on the deer here, feeling a little bit more safe here. Also then opening with the fortified outpost and moving on wood. So what is his option going to be? He did go for the cheaper Khan and Torgut, so he will be able to spam them out a little bit more freely. And also here, berries a little bit outside, so he can pressure the food income from the Abbasid. The second TC has a beautiful spot here around the deer pack, so that's kind of more difficult to pressure. But other than that, yeah, gold. Okay, gold completely left. Stone has been left, so it's just gonna be 2 TC, and then Scatter is gonna decide his next step from there.
It's 2 TC mass army. He cannot go for anything else.
Yeah.
If he will go for anything else, he's gonna die against Golden Horde. So this is gonna be most likely 2 TC mass army, and Golden Horde is gonna go Feudal Age all in. This is what makes most amount of sense. If Golden Horde is gonna try to go for fast Castle Age over here, they are gonna do relatively terribly. Because sure, you have a lot of units that you can go for, but it's not gonna be looking well to going a lot of you are aging up slower because you are aging up in a golden tent, so your opponent can scout it. You don't have that good of a tempo as a civilization. That's the reason why it's not super justifiable to go for fast castle. On the other hand, amazing feudal age. With how we already explained, having more armor, having more attack speed, having free knights, having all of the units around it is gonna mean that your feudal is basically nearly unstoppable. Scatter is gonna try to outboom it, and I did not see that in this matchup yet, so I have no idea if that's possible as an Abbasid. But if that's a civilization that can do it out there, it's most likely gonna be an Abbasid player.
Yeah, that's definitely what I would also expect. If one civilization can do it, it would be the Abbasid. And again, like, this is definitely a good starting point here, securing the deer pack here with the villagers. Then another outpost just to keep the additional villagers safe there. And then also, yeah, this is also just adding the buildings, so the chain is gonna be longer and longer, so we should get to the first golden age relatively soon, which gives them all a 15% increased gather rate. So just a very nice bonus for all of these villagers. And then yeah, Scatterbrain, even though he lost one villager trying to build up the TC, should get ahead fairly soon. And yeah, now adding military buildings, archery ranges. Okay, I didn't see double archery.
Archery ranges are interesting. Yeah, archery ranges are interesting. They are gonna do well early on against whatever Myriad can throw at him. But the later the feudal age goes, harder it's gonna be, because all of the units will have basically 2 armor completely for free, or for 100 food apiece. That's the reason why I don't really love archer play, but it has to be done. Because for what else do you want to go for? You cannot go for horseman, because if you go for horseman, enemy already has Torgut, and enemy already has Batukan out on the field, and those units are, by the way, completely for free or severely discounted. And for that reason, you are just chilling as a Golden Horde. On the other hand, if you go for Spearman as an Abbasid player, you cannot get out of your base, you are stuck, you still get raided, it's gonna be hard for you to play. That's why the archers are gonna be needed, and archer mass is gonna be the composition to go for. Spearmen still are gonna go in as the front line, and they are gonna go in because of the knights that are coming out on the field from the Myriad. But that's about it. Myriad is gonna have better composition in my opinion.
I mean, so on one hand, it totally makes sense what you just said. On the other hand, I'm kind of confused because like in my mind, the archers, they don't counter anything, right? We don't have spearmen on Myriad's side right now. He's mainly, like all that Scatter saw so far is cavalry. And so to me, the spearmen would make the most sense, and then you just add the horsemen, not necessarily as a front line, but as a raiding unit, and to deal with the archers that Myriad is going for. Because right now we just have archers against archers, so that's just not gonna go anywhere. Good raid coming in here as well on the wood line, but not finding another kill. Also, Scatter had to get out on the gold quickly to even be able to get the hardened upgrade for the spearmen, because right now they're still just Dark Age, and Myriad has a lot of units right now here knocking at the door on the wood line, just trying to deny that wood line, which is technically the only one that really is close by for Scatter. So a rough
It's very
position for Scatter to be
interesting.
in.
It's very interesting to see Castle Age over here from the Scatterbrain. I was not expecting fast castle with double TC. Or,
No.
this is not exactly fast castle, but it is at the same time.
Yeah.
It's not completely naked, but, well, I don't know if we can survive this. He definitely knows the Abbasid better than I do. Nowadays, don't see it on Elytra as often. These players properly practicing with it also, so they can throw off the other player, which is most likely doesn't have that much experience against Abbasid players, and most likely doesn't expect it to be played. So if there is someone or something that can happen, Scatter can definitely show us. But yeah, right now he's recognizing that I am in a big trouble. There is a lot of units entering down the field. I need to make horsemen. I need to make triple composition. My opponent is going only double composition at the moment. I would expect Myriad to also start adding at least some kind of infantry or melee infantry like Karash or some spears here and there, just as a front line, and mainly for the bonus damage, or not bonus damage, or for the bonus armor for all of the units.
Yeah, I'm really happy that Scatter is making that switch back from Castle Age to, yeah, got double broadaxe, is getting wheelbarrow, is getting the steeled arrow as well, so the range damage of his archers is increasing. Because otherwise, I mean, the issue is if you're going castle, like, one thing, of course, as the Abbasid, you can't really increase the time, right? I mean, it's gonna take 1 minute and 40 seconds. You cannot increase it by putting villagers on it. And by that time, Myriad is gonna have more and more units, and then as soon as he sees the castle age coming in, it's gonna pull the trigger, and he's just gonna move in and kill as much as possible. And so, yeah, you kind of need to cancel that, move more into army, adding some more archers now, adding horsemen, adding spearmen. So he has a tricomp going for him, more production buildings, and it's just now more settling into the feudal age, which he should be fine doing, honestly. He's on 2 TC, the longer it goes, the better it should be for him. He's not careful with the archers though, not taking care, losing a couple archers already, and this is scary looking archer numbers here for Myriad. 26 archers and a couple of cavalry as well, and oh my goodness, this is a lot of damage. A lot of that unit.
A small villager lead that we just build ourselves up to is already plummeting to the ground. 12 villager kills for a Scatterbrain are already out. We have one tower over here, but it doesn't have an arrow slit placement. That means that it's not going to be doing a lot of damage to all of these units. One thing that Scatterbrain can at least be grateful for, and that is no Karash is out on the field over here. Otherwise, even TC would be doing not so well against all of these units. Archers will definitely not be. Our Keshik have at the moment 4 armor. Archers are doing 6 damage. So when the first Karaj will come in and it's gonna be starting to buff all of the units out on the field, these archers will see 50% the damage reduction. That's not gonna be something something that Scatterbrain wants to see. Military numbers are the same, but doesn't matter when one player is playing for the cavalry and the other one is playing for mass archer. This is not looking good for the Scatterbrain. He's trying to pull himself back, trying to make something, but it's only harder and harder the longer the game goes on. The front berry patch that he needs to abandon it because Keshiks are coming in. At the same time, farm transition is nowhere to be seen, and Myriad is aging up to the castle age, and all of those Keshiks are gonna be getting another +2 armor.
Yeah, especially all the archers. Imagine like 30 something archers. If they're hitting the veterancy, they'll be even able to snipe the horsemen at that point. And then I don't think that Scatter really can do much against that. It's kind of good actually to force that fight right now as the Aja is coming in to try to thin out the numbers, but I'm not sure if it actually was in favor for Scatter. If I'm taking a look at the destroyed value, it's that actually twice as much in favor for Myriad as it is for Scatter. And yeah, now we have the castle age. We're not currently having the resources to upgrade just because there was a small raid here on Myriad's gold. But otherwise very clean timing plus the age up, there you go, with the veteran archers. So just getting a lot of veteran archers very soon. And
military wing is the choice for Abbasid over here, and that's, to be fair, very interesting to see, because we are going to be getting the double camel that will be coming out relatively quickly in 1 minute and 20 seconds, and we desperately need it. Otherwise, I don't see how can we even try to kill all of the units that are out in the field for the Myriad at the moment. In my opinion, Myriad should just dive in and kill everything, but that's very easy for us to tell because we have the observer's eye and we see everything. But all of the villagers on the berries over here are not going to be having a good time. This is completely terrible. Yet more and more villagers are dying, and just look at the villager difference. One player is on a double TC, the other one is not, and on the villager graph, it's not going to be looking like that. All of the archers are hitting the veterancy, and we are diving the town center. These Keshiks are not going to be taking any damage from the TC or from the archers or from anything that can garrison and shoot. At the moment, they are sitting on 7 armor. The TC itself is doing 9 damage. Like these units do not care at all. They just go in and kill everything. TC is basically tickling them, and archers are doing nearly nothing. 1 damage a shot is not something that you want to be doing to the units while they are diving your base. Scatter with more and more idle time on the foot villagers, and he doesn't have enough of it. We are diving the TC. We got the castle age, but we got the castle age for what? Myriad over here taking the game, in my opinion. There is nothing that Scatter can do. Everything should just simply said be died.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's anything that Scatter can do anymore. He just lost the camel riders like way before they even did anything, and with the age option that Myriad went for, the Muscle Yasak, you're getting 2 extra ranged armor, which is exactly what you want if you want to dive town centers. And so this cavalry really so heavily armored, not doing any damage here or getting any damage from the archers, just diving the town center left, right and center. Scatter trying to scramble for some spearmen, but again, there's just feudal age, there's no resources to get them anywhere near veterancy. 2 lancers getting added and 4 more in queue, but I don't think that Scatter can really hold on much longer. As long as Myriad keeps this up, he should be fine. The 1 gold ran out, so that's actually one thing that Scatter might get a breather for a second that Myriad is off goal, so you will not be able to add more Kashyyyks right now, but
There is
doesn't matter.
there is 60 units against 4
Yeah,
at the moment.
yeah, it doesn't matter
Villager
anymore.
numbers may be the same, but I don't think it matters at all. One player has army and another one does not. Scatter over here playing, even though he most likely knows game is over, but hoping for something, hoping to tire the Myriad out or do anything in his power to win the next one. Right now, he's probably starting to think, okay, which civilizations I still have in a map draft, which civilization I still have in the civ draft, which maps are still out there, what can I do? And in the meantime, Myriad is still, why is this man not, why are we still playing this game? This is like, he's completely dead. I'm running in his base and I do not care about anything. His villagers are idle most of the time because they are on the run. This is not looking well for him. And finally the GG is coming in, and Myriad, with the first and very well deserved and very needed victory against the Scatterbrain, is gonna be still losing the series 2-1.
Yeah, very, very needed win for sure. Preparing his reverse sweep, and that was just such a brutal fight right when the age up came in. I mean, even if Scatter had already been Castle Age, I think the unit composition was just not the way to go, and so um, he wasn't even ahead how is that possible? You're 2TC and you're not ahead in resources. I
Idle
don't really
time.
understand that. I don't want to think like I don't want to dwell too much on that, but that was a rough game for Scatter. Like he did the very first two games was really really well, and this one was kind of a mess. If I'm being honest, unfortunately for him. Um,
Scatter, in the first two games, he showed us really good French and really good JD.
yeah.
He knew the timings perfectly. He pushed exactly when he needed to, and he completely obliterated Myriad. It was not even looking close. But this one, Myriad is showing us why he is Myriad after all. He's showing us that I still know how to play the game, and he comes in and completely destroys Scatterbrain and Abbasid. Scatter tried to do something else than that's not Feudal Age all in, and it's not looking well. We are gonna see what is gonna cook up now with the Jushi against English. Jushi, one of the civilizations known for the faster castle age. English, on another hand, still gonna be doing really, really well because of the all of the water bonuses that they have. Having more range on the aeroships, having a little bit cheaper fishing ships with all of the fishing ships is something that English loves to have. For that reason, Myriad, speaking civilization that is not really in the meta at the moment, but still gonna be doing really good in Holy Island.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I think with like the map really makes the civilization make sense here. I was surprised at first when I saw English, and then I looked at the map. Was like, oh yeah, it's Holy Island. Yeah, of course, why not? We've seen it a couple times, and I'm pretty sure I've seen even Myriad playing on Holy Island with English before, so that is quite common. And yeah, with Admiralty, you're not getting the extra range on your military ships, makes water control so much easier. And if you can manage to do that, you kind of force your opponent to then maybe go into the 2TC just to be able to kind of keep up with the eco. Um, and so it's yeah, water is really quite an important part here on Holy Island. It's a very interesting map. Um, Kind of fun to play as well. Haven't played it too often, but I enjoy it pretty much every time. Uh, Even if I lost, didn't matter. It was still kind of fun.
It's very interesting because of the dynamic. Even if you lose water, sometimes you are able to come back on land, and in those cases, we most likely are going to be seeing a very long game.
Yeah.
But if but if the water control is still the main thing over here. If you lose water, it's not going to be looking pretty for you. You are just giving too much food income to your opponent. You can think of it as adding one more dock and spamming fishing chips is a little bit less than adding one more TC and spamming villagers. For that reason, all of the fishing eco is very, very crucial. We are going to be seeing most likely a ginormous fights on the water with a lot of sprinkle ships and a lot of demos coming in trying to kill them, and some king is going to be running around and trying to harass the wood lions. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be getting into the game number 4 of this series, Myriad against the Scatter.
Yeah, that is absolutely correct. Myriad opening on wood as you do with the English playing the English in red on the right side of Holy Island. Scatter on the other side, also opening on wood, immediately even going on the wood line. So not just going for the straggler trees, but instead moving onto the main wood line immediately. And then also putting a villager out here to build a dock. Myriad accompanied with the villager with his scout to find a good spot. Scatterbrain just eyeballed and he found exactly the right spot to have a good fishing eco right from the start. So both players having a very equal position to start off. Let's see. If we're thinking about Sushi's Legacy and Meditation Gardens, we have a double gold plus berries and potentially a couple trees even a little bit further out. So that definitely would be an option. It is a little bit greedy, so you have to defend that, but at the same time, potentially would be
I
worth it.
Yeah, I think that the defending is not going to be that hard early on. Most players are going to be looking to secure the
Mhm.
fishing most likely. So there's going to be a lot of investment into the water, not really into the land. There is going to be the king play from the Myriad most likely. I don't see the council hall being played anytime soon.
Yeah.
King is complete no-brainer over here. For that reason, something can still hit the meditation garden, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Putting 10% of the resources away from for having the king killing one building for next 10 minutes. I think that Scatter would actually like it. On the other hand, Myriad will need to win water. If he does not win water over here, Jushi will have a field day with
Mhm.
all of the knights, one of the best knights in the game in the castle age, probably one of the best economies also. Like getting all of those villagers on wood and getting them supervised early on. Scatter loving Jushi pick over here, and probably one of the strongest civilizations on the Holy Island.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, English, again, with the Admiralty, is not bad, but Juicy's Legacy definitely is one of the strongest, if not the strongest. I mean, if KT is out of the picture, I think Juicy is a strong contender for second place. Um, and yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see. I mean, if just thinking a little bit more about the meditation garden, there's also the berries and the stone in the back with the woodland. There's a golden berry, so there's a couple different options that you could go for with the meditation garden. But I mean, right now, obviously, he's not really thinking about the the meditation garden too hard, because it's still just about the water right now. Both players on one dock. Both players having 4 fishing boats, as we can see so beautifully in the overlay. Myriad now making his way towards Feudal Age. Scatter just now moved on to the gold, so he'll take just a little bit more. In terms of sheep, we have 24 sheep on Scatter's side, so he found a quite sizable amount of sheep, I want to say, you know. So he'll
Scatter
be.
is that if Scatter loses water over here, he's gonna be fine on food for a moment.
Yeah.
Exactly, that's a lot of sheep coming home. On the other hand, Abby is already in the queue with 5 villagers. That's a fast Abby play. Myriad wants to get the age up as fastly as it is possible for those early military ships to start hitting and start harassing enemy fishing eco. On the other hand, King is also gonna be amazing in dealing with the woodline villagers from the scatter. If we are gonna look at the woodline villagers, they are extremely open. Like woodline over here are extremely open. We are gonna be in the need of the early walls over here
Hmm.
just because of the king play. And we were looking at the meditation garden
Yeah.
earlier, and this is even better than we pointed out. This is double gold, stone, and berries. Probably one of the best meditations garden you can get over here. This is gonna be so much completely free resources coming home for you.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely one of the best that I've ever seen. It was just, it was a tad too greedy for my taste, so that's why I would have been a little bit more conservative and put it on the woodland. I still have double gold and berries, but yeah, you're getting the stone, you get double gold, so that's 50 gold per minute, and then you have the berry patch here as well. I mean, it's gonna be slightly decreased now because of the scout here in the range. And it's just like almost dead center in the middle of the map. So if we're having a lot of land fights, this is the first thing that Scatter is going to lose. But at the same time, if it pays off, this is insane. This is a really, really good meditation garden. So we'll see what's happening next. King is in queue already, both players having 2 docks already, and first
First
galley
fishing ship,
is on the way.
first galley, yeah, exactly, is already out, and she's gonna be going most likely straight to the enemy fishing economy, trying to deny as much as it is humanly possible. On the other hand, King, as was pointed out, is coming out slowly but surely. Will be trying to deny something, but Scatter, seeing his woodline being all wide open, already walled it off completely. He doesn't want to be playing against the king over here. He would rather wall it off, and he's chilling. On the gold, he was, as we saw, he committed on for one tower, and that's gonna be the reason why he's gonna be safe for now. But this king is gonna be taking one. Okay, he's not taking one villager. Scatter saw it in time, and right now he is fine, and the fight is gonna be happening on the water.
Yeah, close call here for the villager, now pulling it back just to be safe under the town center. Um, really, really closely getting that kill. And yeah, with the woodland palisade here, I mean, you don't really spend a whole lot of resources on the wall, and then you keep it safe. And then you also secure that this is always going to work, right? I mean, you want to have the wood eco, you need to have military ships on the water, you need to have fishing eco going for you. If you have a half a minute idle time, you cannot produce something, your opponent all of a sudden wins water. That is gonna be so frustrating, and so this investment absolutely is 100% worth it in my books. And yeah, now Myriad has the issue. He can, he can burn away the palisade wall, he can hit away on the meditation gardens, he can try to win water. There's a couple different options that you can go for, but nothing will give you immediate gratification. It's kind of difficult to prioritize what you're gonna do, because each is gonna take minutes to eventually maybe pay off.
Like Myriad going for mass water scatter. Also, this is gonna be the water fight that will decide the game most likely. Nothing else matters at this point. King is not really an issue. We are walled up. We have towers at the right spots, so he cannot really do anything. Sure, he's gonna be over here hitting the wall on the wood light for next 5 minutes, and then we will repair it in the 10 seconds. For that reason, English, one of the better civilizations on water, but right now Scatterbrain having 20% more wood just because of the supervision by the imperial official is gonna be able to slowly but surely pump out more and more military ships. And the longer this goes, bigger the military advantage is gonna be for the Scatter, thanks to the eco bonuses.
Yeah, absolutely. Then it comes down to we already have Admiralty, so we're talking about one more range than your opponent has, which means if you're aggressing into English, they will be able to fire a shot at you already. If you're gonna retreat, they will be able to fire at you still. And so it is kind of like the same with longbows. It's just English is thinking about how can I be as annoying as possible. And then they did exactly that. Scatter has a sizable army, is now trying to split off with the demo ships, also sniping the demo ship of Myriad. So just a little bit of back and forth. Nobody wants to really, to go in too deep here at the moment. Meanwhile, Meditation Garden's already lost more than 1,000 health, so Scout is gonna succeed in about 5 to 7 minutes, I suppose.
Myriad is he is spamming all of the hulks as it is humanly possible for him, and with the one more range, he's gonna be able to take not as bad of a fight, but that's a lot of demos coming from a side, and I'm not sure if we really want to be taking fight against those. On another hand, 7 hulks are on the side of the Scatter over here, and they can do relatively well against all of the galleys them that are out from the Myriad. If that's gonna happen, the demo numbers are definitely there for the Scatter. He heavily invested in those, and Myriad is just hoping that his micro is gonna be exactly on point. Otherwise, he's gonna be coming into the big trouble. All of the demos are coming forward, but all of them are gonna be getting sniped out. And at the moment, Myriad is just having more hulks, and he can start sniping all of the enemy ships one by one.
Yeah, that was quite brutal. I mean, of course, the demo ships are not the most expensive thing, but if you're losing 6 or 7 and you're not even getting one single connect, losing one ship, and then you have a couple of super low health ones, you're trying to repair them up with the fishing boats, but then you're losing fishing boats. You're also not gathering at that moment, so this is not looking good right now. Scatterbrain definitely in a disadvantage here right now. He didn't lose the one dock, so that's at least one thing that he has going for him. Meanwhile, the king also did find at least one villager kill on the gold. He's probably gonna lose his life if Myriad doesn't pull him back, but that is really quite a suppressing army right now on the water here for Myriad. And yeah, Admiralty is really insane. I personally feel like you shouldn't have access in Feudal Age to Admiralty. I think it should be a Castle Age tech, but I don't know, that's just me. Yeah, King finally being killed here on the gold. But yeah, Myriad winning on water and slightly winning on land as well, I would say.
We must also say that Myriad microed completely perfectly, and Scattered heavily invested into the demos rather than into the Springles. If he would invest all of those resources into the Springles, he would have definitely an advantage in a Springle numbers, thanks to the IOs supervising all of the lumber camps and supervising everything around it. But look at the villagers on wood for the Scatter at the moment. One lonely villager is for him and the wood. What does that mean? He wants to age up, and Myriad is doing the same. Myriad going up with a king's palace and relatively rushing it with 13 villagers is gonna mean that the upgrades for the ships, I'm not sure that they are that much needed. He already most likely won the water, but upgrades for the ships can come in, and they are gonna be the decider. But some horsemen are finding the age up. from the Myriad over here, and they are going to be dealing a lot of damage to the villagers, slowly but surely sniping them one by one. And Scatter, on the other hand, is also relatively happy with his age up coming through. And what is this going to be? Are we going to see Mass Knights? Most likely.
Yeah, unfortunately it's just the horsemen, and so they didn't deal a massive amount of damage, just finding one villager kill, doing a slight delay here. King's Palace gonna mean that Myriad, even though he pretty much won water, he's also gonna get a lead here on the land as well. One more villager kill, two more actually, and slowly but surely, yeah, that horseman is also gonna lose his life. Meditation Garden's halfway down already. That scout is really doing God's work here. And meanwhile on the water we're continuing to fight. A couple of low health ships on Myriad's side, but almost nothing on Scatter's side. This is looking kind of grim. Also being pushed back into the corner means you're down to 2 docks. Meanwhile Myriad has at least 4 docks going for him, I believe. And so
Myriad already won the water.
Yeah.
Like water is definitely one for him, and right now he's gonna be pumping out as many of the fishing ships as it is humanly possible, and his job is to not die on land. Yeah. That's gonna be his job, and Scatter needs to kill him on the land. Otherwise, we are gonna be having a short game on our hands, and we will go into the match point for both of the players in this best of 5. At this moment, Scatter is not playing it badly, but he mismicroed heavily on the water earlier, and that costed him the tempo advantage. If you don't have a tempo with the Jushi, you are not really relying on the units. They are good, but they are not as good as the enemy units with more range. On another hand, Myriad already going for some monasteries, trying to look for a relic here and there, and the mass spearmen are gonna be definitely enough at the moment to defend the knights.
Yeah, with the spearmen, even though they were just a moment ago just feudal age, still enough to deter the knights, the lancers from Zeus's legacy. And then with the king, of course, they also get the healing. King is gonna lose his life. If he's not being careful, being pulled back, luckily. And yeah, no wall here so far, so the knights, the lancers will be able to just run in, and the spearman numbers are not here. They're just chasing off the couple knights over there, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, if Myriad is not losing land, I don't see the game continuing for much longer.
But I don't understand why we didn't went for White Tower. We knew that we are winning water, and we still went for King's Palace over here. Is all of the fishing eco not gonna be enough?
Well, apparently not. I mean, I don't hate it, you know, I really don't. But that's probably because I just dislike the White Tower so much. I'm not sure. But yeah, maybe the White Tower would have been a better call here, because that really would secure whatever is left of the gold here. It would secure the food over here, the stone, the wood line. But regardless, I mean, that's what Myriad chose, and he's doing fine so far. And Scatter is just doing this Hail Mary attempt at winning with the Lancers. 15 Lancers is a sizable amount, but then again we also have a bunch of Spearmen that can get in the way. Water now completely gone for Scatter, so he definitely lost full access to water. How's his woodline looking? Yeah, it's just chopping through that. Resources, he's on the 2nd gold. And the Meditation Gardens is still standing. So there's, you know, there's light at the end of the tunnel for Scatter. I'm not sure if it's gonna be enough, but there's always hoping.
Scatter definitely hoping for at least something over here. He needs to do some kind of a eco damage, but Myriad on basically double TC and all of the fishing economy is gonna be showing us why winning the water is basically the advantage that you need to close out the game. He is on triple the military, but you must see, you must know that in that count, there is also military ships, and they are taking a huge chunk only in the springle ships. That's a 33 there's a 33 military space. But this fight is not gonna be going into the way of Mr. Myriad if you're gonna be taking it under the towers. Men at arms are slowly but surely gonna be coming out on the field with no upgrades. We need men at arms with upgrades. If they are not upgraded, they are gonna be annihilated by the Jushi or by the Jukonu. Complete annihilation. If they are gonna get all of the important upgrades, they will get at least that 5 armor, and Jukonu will do nothing against them. But unless that's gonna be happening, Jukonu will be amazing against everything that Myriad has out on the field at the moment. He's just spamming mass crossbow plus mass spearman, but that's not gonna be enough. Jukonu are right now killing everything one by one, and these men-at-arms are not even having the castlage upgrade in the queue because we don't have the gold for it. This forward gold mine over here needs to be secured for us to get any upgrades going on. Somehow we are still surviving. Even with worse units, the Jukoro numbers are not here in the front, and Myriad is pushing Scatter away.
Yeah, I mean, with just a few men at arms, that's not really what you want to look at when you're facing the Lancer Shuganu comp against you. Which, yeah, I mean, maybe now would be time to go for some longbows as well, or a horseman potentially. Yeah, I think horseman, crossbow, spearman. I think that would be a good tri-comp for Myriad right now. But yeah, I'm not sure about what he's planning to do next. About the King's Palace, I think one of the reasons why he went for that actually is he probably suspects Scatter to go for a second TC now that he lost water, and then Myriad already has a second TC in place, so he'll still stay ahead no matter what Scatter is going to do. So hopefully it will work out in his favor right now. It doesn't seem to be the case. It looks like he's mainly throwing away crossbows against the Shuganu. At the same time, now the men-at-arms finally getting their upgrade, slowly becoming the shattered arms that we want to see. Now it also with the armor clad, there you go. And now finally getting some good armor, 7 ranged armor, basically being almost immune against the Juganu, but now we also have crossbows. So Scatter doing a good unit switch. The question is, can he get on that gold? Because he's also running out of gold. Second gold vein here ran out, and this is the one that he wanted to go on. There's one small gold over on the left side, and then one more closer to the to the beach. But I don't
Doesn't
think
really matter at this point. Doesn't really matter. The unit switch is not coming in time. Crossbows would be coming, but you are already making crossbows against enemy that has more crossbows out on the field than you have. You have nothing to counter enemy crossbows at the moment, and the enemy has water. Enemy has double TC. He has the save economy. You are unfortunately just losing this game, and we are getting on the match point, ladies and gentlemen. 2-2 is going to be the state of the series.
yeah, and I'm slowly getting the idea that Myriad, you know, he jinxed us. He played the first 2 games, and he won. He lost on purpose just to let us think that he's, you know, uh, losing the series, and then now he's coming back with a vengeance and just is gonna win. Maybe even the last game. So it is match point 2 versus 2. Scatter winning the first games in a very decisive fashion, and now Myriad came back, clapped her back with 2 wins, equalizing the score. Let's see. Oh my goodness. I couldn't have asked for a better matchup. We're gonna find out in a minute. Let's see. Going back to the lobby, I'm gonna send you an invite. By the way, Askeladd, of course I knew that it's Admiralty, not Admirality. But yeah, we've been going
Ladies
for
and
how many
gentlemen,
hours now? I'm starting to get tired, you know. So maybe I misspoke at one point. 5 hours. So yeah, going strong for 5 hours. That is something.
We definitely have a series on our hands. Myriad against the Scatterbrain. We were a little bit skeptical earlier on. We were talking that Myriad is one of the better players. Then he lost 2 games in
Hmm.
a row, and suddenly Scatterbrain is one of the better ones. And Myriad right now showing us why he still is considered one of the one of the best in the world. He is coming back, and is this gonna be a reverse sweep, ladies and gentlemen? Both players are on the match point. Japan against Mongols on a gorge. That's gonna be the map that we will be looking at the moment. The one thing that we can definitely expect is some spearmen from the Japan early on.
Hmm.
And my question is this gonna be Dark Age against Dark Age?
It has to. I would assume that it has to be Dark Age against Dark Age. I mean, both. You know, the game basically begs you to go Dark Age with Japanese, since the barracks is just 75 wood, so you pay half of what all the other civilizations pay except for Ottomans. But then on the other side, you have Mongols with the double production, coupled to the stone from the Uvu, and so both civilizations, they like to get in quite early there. And so I think it would be a wasted opportunity if they wouldn't go for Dark Age aggression. Um, I wouldn't rule out a tower rush from either side, but I don't think that's gonna be the immediate play. But Dark Age aggression for sure, especially on a map like Gorge, where one of the resources is gonna be exposed. And it's most likely going to be forward anyway. I mean, the goal cannot be backwards, right? It cannot be behind the TC because there's the wood line. So it has to be on the front or on the sides. So.
What is going to be the difference maker if we are going to play for a long Dark Age is Japan can make samurai in the Dark Age.
Hmm.
And you may think that is not that big of a deal.
It is.
Spearmen can do relatively good against them. They are going to be there just as a front line. Like Mount as and also they can deal very good with the spears at the same time, but they are amazing. But that's a huge commitment.
Hmm.
If we will see Scatter to play for 1 or 2 samurai, we can probably guess that there is already going to be at least 8 spearmen out on the
Hmm.
field. Um, why is the question, and it's simple. They cost gold. So if you go for samurai, you need to mine more gold. It's going to be a little bit harder to age up, even though they are that much more costly in terms of the wood or wood in terms of the food. It's still the main issue is they cost a lot of gold. uh, for that reason, Scatter has the better composition if he really wants to go for it.
Hmm. Yeah, so I mean, maybe if you mix like one or two Dark Age Samurai and then add Spearman um, as a comp, then maybe that would be worth it. Otherwise, I think you're probably better off just going for Dark Age Spearman. And I think it comes down to who is gonna invest more into it, because at some point you're gonna stop, you're gonna age up, and then you're gonna produce well, archers if there's still a lot of Spearmen there. So we'll see. Basically who will pull out faster in this Dark Age aggression. But yeah, I'm pretty hopeful that we're gonna see a banger of a game here. A lot of Dark Age aggression into Feudal Age. Maybe we're not gonna see Castle Age, depending how the game is going. Um, but yeah, should be good. Hopefully, I'm really excited for that. We have another half minute for the observer delay, so we can just take a brief look at how things going. Beastie did qualify in the meantime. He did win against Mahudu 3-0. Lucifront did win 3-1 against Jiv Music. Numodan won 3-2 against Creator. So kind of close series, but was coming out ahead. Corvinus, as we saw earlier, winning 3-0 against Valdemar, so he also did qualify. And now we're in the last of the 5 qualifiers of today, or of the 5 people qualifying, Myriad or Scatter. And we are, with that, jumping right into that. Let me switch the overlay here, and we're going in. This looks really good. And there we have it. So Myriad playing the Mongols in red on the right side of Gorge, moving out to 2C to the front wood line next to the berries. Kind of an awkward position for Mongols to be in, because if you put it next to the gold, there's nothing really next to that. So this does make sense, but it also really exposes your gold. So this is something where Japanese can really hit you and it really hurts. Scatter is moving on, or did move on wood, so that definitely is looking like, I guess, either Dark Age, Dark Age farms or barracks. I'll let you choose what is more likely. And then he also went for the farmhouse. He already did get the Tatara, I think it's called. So, what did he? Wait. No, never mind. That's...
Tavara is not yet in. Yeah,
no, Tatara
Tavara
is
is not
from
yet
the
in.
forge. Never mind me.
Yeah. Tavara is not yet in, so we are not investing into the wheelbarrow early on, and it doesn't make that much sense to do if you don't know if you will have enough gold to age up. It's not that much resources, but at the same time, it's a lot of resources to go for if you think that you are gonna get Dark Age pressure. On the other hand, investing this early in a tower on gold is very interesting to see, because I am not a professional, but it looks like that it looks like that Scatter doesn't want to play Dark Age at all over here. We are just gonna see the safe tower mining all the gold that he wants, and we are making it a little bit forward. Double tower at the same time. That's to be fair, you must make it. Otherwise, Mongol player can just come from the other side and make the tower over there, and you are pushed off from the gold anyway. So this is something that needs to be done. But other than that, this is very interesting to see.
This is extremely interesting. I mean, the forward tower here, the forward one also kind of helps with the deer pack, so at some point you can push in the deer a little bit and then have a mill over here at the farmhouse, and then it's kind of under the tower here as well, so this totally makes sense. Heavy investment, but yeah, these two spearmen are going to do pretty much absolutely nothing for Myriad. He sees the tower, so he's kind of reluctant to really go in there. Because the Dark Age Spearmen, they're really susceptible to tower fire. And he's trying to move around, but there's another tower that he's just scouting out now. So he's like, wow, he really invested into that quite heavily. Myriad did go for double produced Spearmen and then one extra, so it's not the biggest investment. But what do you do from here? He did pull off wood, so he's not going to go for a tower rush. Yeah. Wouldn't work, of course.
The second tower is not yet finished over here, and that's because we are not sure if Myriad wants to go for a tower rush. So making the second tower may be a little bit of overcommitment. We spent a lot of idle time on building that tower, but that's gonna be about it. We still can cancel it any day, anytime, and we are gonna get our 100 wood away from it. Lovely to see from Mr. Skytra. Playing it exactly as he wanted to, and aging up with one villager, and slowly but surely he will be most likely targeting the castle age. There, I'm not sure if he can do it in terms of the sheep count. We scouted a lot of them, but they are not at home at the moment. Every single one of them is still with the scout. We are still going on the deer pack, yet again repositioning the tower, canceling it, and making it a little bit up, so we are securing the deer. Lovely to see. On another hand, fast castle with forward deer pack, relatively forward goal at the same time. I think that we need to make at least some units, otherwise this is too greedy.
Well, it is too greedy, yes, but at the same time, the crazy thing is that it might as well just work. I mean, I can totally imagine that Scatterbrain would be able to make it work. But yeah, I mean, I'm scared. Like, if I don't have any units, I'm scared. If I'm going fast castle naked, that definitely is quite risky. We have a stable from Myriad coming out, so potentially, I mean, you have he has enough stone for one batch of Kashik, or he could go for 2 batches of horsemen. Those are the options with the stable. He did go for the deer stone, so he does have access to the Khan's hunters as well if he's going for mass archer play. Manguda is not really going to be the greatest option, so I don't think that's gonna be in the cards. But yeah, I mean, we could see a trade at some point, which I guess it's not happening. We have a blacksmith being added, so Myriad seems to be doubling down on the feudal aggression here. Kashik in queue as well. So yeah, that's likely gonna be the play here.
Trade would be, in my opinion, too greedy over here. We have trade posts, but they are basically in the middle of the map or in the middle of the sides of the map. So traders would be coming to the middle of the map, where it might be very raidable. That's why Scatter doesn't really want to play it. On the other hand, or Scatter, Myriad doesn't really want to play it. Scatter, on the other hand, going for that fast castle, going for the slowest age up possible with 1 villager. We are still aging up, and we are gonna be aging up even 7 minutes into the game, most likely. There is not enough spots inside of the tower to defend from these Kashyyyks, but they don't want to die. They don't want to take a lot of damage. So that's lovely. That's lovely to see. Scatter is right now, in my opinion, very happy about his position. He is gonna be getting very safe castle age.
Yeah, and Myriad absolutely knows that this is going to be the play. If we're 7 minutes in and we're still not fuel age, now we're just hitting it. It is absolutely certain that, that the opponent is going to go for a fast castle play. We have enough gold already. We overmined just a little bit, and because of the idle time, we're a little bit short on food here. Getting the fortifications here for the outpost as well, because this is really what's gonna make or break this strategy. If we don't get enough food, we have to re-macro heavily, and then we don't really have a good option as Scatterbrain. He doesn't have any production buildings at all. He doesn't have enough wood. I mean, now he has enough wood to go for a barracks if he wanted to, but this is really difficult. The arrow slits here is nice, but the fortification coming in a little bit too late.
Yeah, this should be at least like 1 or 2 villager kills. But Scatter microing it completely perfectly, getting inside of the tower exactly when he needs to. Already gonna be killing 1 Kashyyyk slowly but surely, and already killed 2 spearmen. Gonna be killing yet another one. Fortified outpost is coming in, and this is gonna be very hard for Myriad to kill at the moment. To be fair, these Kashyyyks are paying for themselves only in the idle time of all of these villagers, so this is not that terrible. 1 villager already being killed. Relatively nice. On another hand, Scatter don't have any army to kill this. He is slowly but surely killing the Kashyyyks, which he likes to do. But do you like to do it for the cost of few villagers dying and for the cost of idle time on 5 villagers for the next 3 minutes?
Yeah, also I believe Myriad got at least 2 times a bounty here. Whenever the building starts to burn, you get the bounty, so if it gets repaired back up prior to the burning state and then burns again, you get the bounty back as well. So it's yeah, they definitely paid themselves by the time, also with all the idle time. Floating gate now finally coming in, definitely later than Myriad and Scatter would have wanted to. He doesn't have a stable right now. He doesn't have enough resources though, so he's gonna drop a stable shortly. But with the villagers, that is quite difficult. 3 villagers lost. They're now in the 2nd tower, and this is just slowly burning away. Kind of needs to finish a job here. Still shooting at you, but yeah, focused on this one for now because it's easier. It's a way easier target right now.
we do not have enough. We definitely do not have enough gold to just spam mounted samurai. There is a little bit of it, like 480 is gonna be enough for 4 of them. But at this moment, there is already 10 Keshik out on the field. If that's gonna be fight, if you will try to take fight against it with those numbers, it's not gonna work out. Myriad playing it completely perfectly, and as you said, with all of the bounty, just bounty that he's getting, he's loving his position. Already killed 3 buildings, is gonna be the 4th one. This is a very hard position for Myriad to be in at the moment. Is just unintentionally giving more and more resources to the scatter by going for this forward deer pack and making a house, making the tower, getting all the villagers on it. Didn't pull them back in time, but that's not even the main point. Even if you would do that, you are giving at least 150 resources to your opponent completely for free because of the bounty system. This is not the best spot to be in at the moment.
No, absolutely not. We see a market being dropped, so Scatter preparing for buying resources that he needs to. He did go for the Anamusha, which is I would say the right call. It's fine to deal with the Spearman, and then of course the Anamusha being the crossbow replacement for the Japanese, being really good at dealing with the Kashik. At least, you know, in theory, because the Kashik also have, like, they're not alone. They have the Khan leading the field here, and so they will be sped up by the signal arrow from time to time. Wololo attempt here by the Shinto priest, picking up the relic, now just leaving it, but that is a little bit too late. Speaking about relics, we don't have any in possession of Scatter right now, so he did bring that a little bit closer to his base, but for now just needs to wait until he has the next Shinto priest horseman being added to the mix here as well. So Myriad switching that up just a little bit and just preventing this from going up again. And yeah, this is a rough
More
position.
bounty coming, and this is terrible spot for the scatter to be in. We'll like sure on Amushas are gonna be nice. We're dealing against Keshiks, but the only thing Myriad needs to do is to put horsemen here and there, and suddenly they are not gonna deal with anything. You need big enough numbers of them just to double shot the spearmen. You need 12. You don't have enough gold to make 12 of them. Right now, 0 villagers on gold, and at the moment, struggling for any gold income. Scatter is in a ginormous trouble. The Onas or the Onamushas are gonna do well against Keshiks, but that's about it. The rest of the army from the Myriad is gonna do well against them, and even if they do well against Keshiks, they need time to do so. You can't just let them dive your TC and hope that you will kill them by running Hail Mary around your town center. This is not looking good for the scatter. If we are stuck in our base, we cannot get any relics, and the enemy is edging up to the castle edge with the Kurultai.
Yeah, and Kurta is the exact right move. Also getting superior mobility as we speak. So by the time we have the Kurultai, we'll be able to move it actually relatively quickly to the battle, to where we need it. And then you not only have the Kashik that heal on hitting, whatever it is, you know, if they can hit Gaia and heal up, they can hit buildings, units, and they will heal up. They also then have the Kurultai healing them with 1 health per second, plus giving them 20% more damage, and that is quite oppressive. And yeah, the issue with the Anamusha is they deal fine with the Kashik, but they don't do bonus damage against the horseman. They don't do bonus damage against the spearman as well, and so it's just difficult to get the numbers on the field that you need. Myriad now just moving back, but just mainly because he wants to have the Kurultai here. He doesn't want to lose more Kashik than he needs to. And
Well, If he would want to, he can just pull horsemen to run around and try to kill some Onas, and that's probably the best play to do. Onas are still not even double shotting the horsemen. You need a little bit bigger numbers. They are faster than the horsemen, so they are going to be able to just clean them up if the scatter will try to kite. Not the best spot for the scatter to be in. Making some of the spearmen with the double barracks in front of his base, gonna be trying to do anything in his power to survive over here. But the idle time damage itself is massive. He is pulling away from the gold each time that the Myriad comes over here. And Kulurtai at the moment coming in with all of the veterancy upgrades is gonna mean that Scatter will have extremely hard times doing anything over here. Usually you have a nice timing push as the Japan against the Mongol. You can do relatively well, but losing all of the villagers and giving all of the bounty was the difference maker. But the Vololo is coming in, not gonna be in time. All of these units are slowly but surely gonna be getting healed up, and the bonus damage coming from the Kurultai is massive. 20% is the number. All of these guys are gonna be insta-killing nearly everything. Fight with the spearmen, but what spearmen? There are no numbers in. All of them are in the feudal age. This fight is not gonna be going your way. You just hope that the one single sprinkled outpost is gonna tickle down the numbers on the enemy cavalry, so you can slowly but surely do something.
Yeah, and we have Myriad doing a good reaction with the archers being added once he saw the spearmen coming in, because he doesn't really want to risk running into the spearmen and then losing too many casualties, then potentially still losing the game. He doesn't want to lose, being in the driver's seat right now. And it's crazy to me, if we're looking at the collected resources, he's almost pretty much 8,000 resources ahead right now. And that with the Mongols, who notoriously have a really terrible economy, and he's still, with all the idle time, with the villager kills, 6 villager kills, so he's ahead in villagers, which, that's really nice. He's way ahead in resources, he is ahead in army value, almost double the army value, double the army numbers. Really, really nicely done here, and with the just one mounted samurai running in here, I'm not sure if that's really the play. But Scatter is running out of time. He's running out of resources that he can get to. He's running out of food even at the moment. The few resources that he can actually have access to, they're on the left side, so he technically should be able to get there relatively unscathed as long as he can keep Myriad on the right side of his base. He kind of needs to keep the focus of Myriad here. As soon as Myriad, figures out that he should roam around the map and try to find villager kills, it's definitely gonna be over. Scatterbrain doing a good job here finding the reinforcements and sniping a few of the units. Crossbows being added to the mix even. So Myriad just having a lot of different unit compositions here on the field, and just, now completely ignoring the tower. He doesn't mind the sprinkled on placement.
Scatter needs to react somehow, do something. We need to find some counter damage with like one knight running around or anything. Otherwise, this is completely terrible spot for him. Yet again, we are pushing in front, killing another tower, and there are still feudal age spearmen killing the horsemen. This is terrible for me to see. This is just a pain. This is completely horrible for the Scatter over here. Sure, not all of the military for the Myriad is over here at the moment. A lot of it's still on the way, but the part that's over here can deal with everything. The villagers are not mining the gold. Villagers were pushed away from the berries on the side of the map. You have no map control. You gave it all away. And at this moment, Myriad is dictating everything. Every single move you can make needs to be Myriad. Myriad needs to say you can do it. Otherwise, you are stuck inside of your base, being on farms and cutting down trees.
Yeah, really, really nice show display here of Myriad. Scatter again trying to find the reinforcements, but Myriad reacting in time. The only thing that Myriad realistically needs here to be even in a better position would be towers, just to have the YAM network working in his favor. He is grabbing one of the relics, the other one is pretty much secured here, or should be secured by the Kashik, and then there's another one over here. So I suppose he should also even have the majority of the relics at some point. And I don't know.
Yeah. This is terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, the Onamushas, the only unit you had to kill enemy Kashik, and right now they are all falling down against one small miss microing. How good this series started for the scatter. Precise plays with the French, then amazing timing pushes with the JD. But right now, not looking good for him. Myriad is showing us how the good player is supposed to play. He is amazingly doing his job, going in on exact timings. You know that your opponent wants to be aging up. You are gonna come in and kill the towers that are on a deer. You know your opponent wants to go on the berries. Just check the berries. He is doing amazing job in every single regard over here. 41 military against 13 Kullertai over here, healing all of these units that are gonna be most likely killing another group of 5 villagers garrisoned inside of the tower. Not looking good for the scatter at the moment.
No, not at all. And I mean, I'm so impressed by the placement of the Kurotai. He put it down once and then never moved it. And for the majority of every fight that he was taking here, the range, was just working in his favor here. And so he's just, maximizing the benefits from the Kurotai. He's maximizing what he can get from the bounty. He doesn't have the raid bounty improved, or the raid bounty at all, but like that's one thing that he could do still. But he's prioritizing the military at the moment, and it's really fun to see. As a Mongol fan myself, it's really nice to see this game being played in such a fantastic way here. And Scatter is holding on for dear life. He doesn't want to go. He played, as you mentioned, he played such a incredibly well series. But I'm almost convinced that Myriad, let him win the first two just to lure him in a false sense of security that he would win the series. And now he's just coming back, now completely overrunning the town center, just diving the town center. 26 villager kills. What a bloodbath we're witnessing here on Gorge in this final map. And I don't think that, as much as Scatter wants to hold on, I don't think he can hold much longer. 1/4 of his eco is idle right now, and there's just no way for him to come back. I don't see any realistic way. Coral time being moved again. Archers on the villagers as well. 31 villager kills, and Scatter has to tap out in this position.
Exactly. This is gonna be G to the G. Scatter losing the last game of the series, and Myriad. So what a comeback! He was losing in the series 2-0. If this was a best of 3, Scatter is already qualified. But Myriad showing us an amazing comeback, reverse sweep. Basically from the grave. He was on the match point. Scatter nearly had it, and then coming back with pretty decisive victories. Myriad yet again showing us how to play Age of Empires and how amazing of a player he is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Really, I mean, just from looking at like the blows being traded back and forth, was a close game, but the villager graph, that really tells us the story here. Losing villagers even before Castlage, then here and there, all the idle time is not being accounted here as well for that. And just look at if we're looking at the resources gathered, this is this is a Mongol 1TC no trade eco we're talking about, beating Japanese with core storehouse. This is, this really paints the picture of how this match was going for Myriad. And yeah, crazy game. Again, as a Mongol fan, really love to see it. So shout out to Myriad, really cool game. Shout out to Scatter as well for an amazingly played series, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough. Myriad winning the last and final game with Mongols against Japanese, which means that he is going to be one of the 5 additional people qualifying for the Epohers World Cup